Body that we talked about in the offseason trades has actually had a very successful offseason free agency signing. So that's our next little segment to kind of get into. So we'll cover the ones that we just hit in the trades. First and foremost was the Spurs letting go of LeBron to the Mavs for a bunch of first round picks, and it freed up a ton of cap space. That ended up working wonderfully for the Spurs, signing Clark, who is just a demigod at this game, apparently. He's an ISO god. He can shoot from deep, dunks on literally everything. So he was able to grab Clark from the Kings. So the Kings had a great signing in Taco, but unfortunately 2K screwed him over, and he was not able to bring back his couple of his studs and depth players. Spurs was able to capitalize on that, went ahead and landed Clark. And also Dennis Smith Jr., kind of like a moderate signing, solid backup point guard. But he also picked up Kyle Kuzma and Siakam. So he had a pretty star-studded free agency he was able to grab all these people because he let go of LeBron. So LeBron was replaced by Kuzma, Siakam, Clark, and Dennis Smith Jr. I don't think if he was keeping LeBron, he would have done as well. Obviously, he wouldn't have had enough money to sign everybody. So I think that hindsight, the trade worked out best for him. I think that his team is better this way without LeBron. It's just a matter of getting that everybody to gel together and keep it rolling. So he had an amazing offseason. What are your thoughts on his offseason here?
I'm not mistaken. He did. He was not able to bring back another center, if I'm not mistaken. I
Yeah.
think he did lose a center in the off season, which I think hurt him. I think the Spurs has one of the best stick skills in the league.
Yeah.
I'm on the game right now, and Clark is averaging 23 a game on 53% shooting. So
Insane.
he's played very, very well. With Clark, that's his type of player, kind of do it all yourself. I have a go-to player that I'm going to go with. Dennis Smith torches me, but then again, a lot of perimeter players play very, very well against me down here. Dennis Smith is averaging 8 points a game, shooting 44% from the field. So it's quality for a backup point guard. He just picked up Kuzma, who's averaging 6 points a game on 50% shooting. All right, and then Siakam. Siakam's averaging 4 points, shooting 55%. He's on a one-year deal, as is Kuzma. I think he might have overpaid Kuzma a little for $20 million, but it's a one-year deal.
Yeah.
So there's only so much bad with that deal.
Siakam gives you some defense. Siakam's defense is pretty solid inside and out, and Kuzma can still stretch that floor for you. So. And when you got Clark driving and dunking all over the place, if you run into a zone somewhere, Kuzma's going to be there and knock down a couple of shots for you. So I think that makes sense. Like how he went with it makes sense. Yeah.
Now I would like to actually jump ahead of you, Calvin, and I would like to talk about the most polarizing signing of the off season.
Okay.
And you know who I'm going to.
Of course.
It's one of my personal favorites.
Of course.
And that's someone who a lot of people felt was overpaid.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both agree it's all about how you use him. Now that he's moved from point guard to shooting guard, small forward, he's probably not as valuable as he was a point guard.
Yeah.
And we're going to the Bulls signing Luka.
Right. Yeah. So the Bulls signing Luka.
Probably, I think I was in the minority of people who like the signing of Luka.
Yeah.
I had Luka. I've used Luka. My last season with Luka, he plays well. You just have to understand his athleticism limitations. He's not going to drive and dunk on anyone. He's a finesse player. But he has a 92 driving layup. He has an 87 mid-range, an 89 three ball, 93 draw foul. He has a 75 perimeter defense, so it's not super low.
Right.
All right. It's just he's not super quick. He's not very fast. He has an 81 speed, 81 acceleration. He has bronze clamps But then again, he has Hall of Fame flexible release, Hall of Fame green machine, Hall of Fame pro touch. All
Yeah,
right.
those are pretty big
Now
badges.
he paid him he paid him 35 million. I think he could have got him for less.
Because
All right. I like the signing.
no one else was going after Luca. Maybe Magic might have
I
tried to
don't
bring him
think
back, but I don't think a lot of other people were going over maybe like 25 million for Luca.
he's shooting 46% from the field, which is good. He's averaging 19 points.
That's amazing.
He hasn't really played. He hasn't played that well since the last year he was with me. Um, when he went to when I traded him to,
I think it was
I
the
want to say
Sixers. The Sixers
it was
for
the Sixers.
yeah.
It was the Sixers, and then he ended up going to Charlotte from there, and then Charlotte to Orlando, and then
Yeah,
Orlando to Chicago. So he's kind of bounced around a little bit,
for
which is
sure.
understandable. I like the signing. I thought it was a little much, but I like Luka. Just doesn't know how to use him and not expect a lot on defense, which like real life.
So yeah, I mean, if you asked me on off-season signing day, this was probably the worst signing of of the off season. He's making 30 something million. He's coming off of the bench for you because um, Bulls already has a pretty solid core, and it was just I was kind of confused by it. And Bulls was very excited about signing Luca. He's a 90 something overall, but a lot of people agree he plays more like an 80 something overall. But hindsight being 2020, Bulls is balling with him right now, like 19 points a game. That's amazing. Like that's kind of what you're expecting out of your superstar. And coming off the bench, he's he torched me both games, I believe, coming off the bench. Played very well with him, Bates. Plays very aggressive. It's been since the last time that
Euros you to death with him.
yeah,
Euros you to
yeah,
death with him.
and I mean but that like you said, he's a finesse player. That's kind of how you're supposed to play with him. He's got that Hall of Fame pro touch, so he's gonna finish well around the basket, and he's smart. He doesn't really shoot with him until he's already kind of going. So Bulls, kudos to you for understanding that players are gonna hit shots after you kind of get them going a little bit, and you're playing amazing with him. So good shit on that.
And and I think a lot of people were looking at him as a primary scoring option.
Yeah.
It's
But it's
very
funny.
tough.
Bulls
It's
is
very
using
tough.
him as a primary scoring option, so you're kind of game
But he's
changing
not first scoring option. He's not first scoring. What I'm
off of
saying.
his bench. Yeah, he is. Well, right off of the bench,
But
like so off the bench though. Like because off his bench, he's no one else because he's got Baldwin who's going crazy on the starting lineup, and Bulls bench is really just like he's focusing on Luca, and I don't know who else is giving him that kind of production off the bench. So it's so good shit, good signing, ended up being solid for you.
let let's uh let's talk about your off season. How do you
Oh
think
my
that went for
gosh.
you, man? Let's talk about that one.
I was devastated. For those who don't know, I had Kawhi last year, and Kawhi pulled a dick move, as he always does, apparently, and decided not to re sign with the Thunder. I offered him all types of different deals, max contract, much as I could, all different variation lengths, but he just went ahead and decided to go with he went ahead and decided to go with the Celtics. Me and Celtics were up 4:30 in the morning having a good old bid war. So that was not great for me. Celtics ended up having an amazing offseason. I think I recovered decently well, picking up Sharif O'Neal and Dame. I did have to go ahead and signed Muhammad to a 3-year deal. Hornets kind of snuck in the last minute and took Muhammad. I mean, tried to offer Muhammad, so I had to match him. Messed up my offseason plans just a little bit, but I think I ended up recovering. And Celtics just made out like a bandit, grabbing Kawhi from me, grabbing Alex Antetokounmpo from the Celtics. It was really a good offseason for him. So he's got two of probably the best defenders in the game. Kawhi can guard 1 through 4. Alex can guard, I'm sure, 1 through 5 in a pinch. So he really shored up his defense there. And he lost Tatum, but he replaced Tatum with Kawhi, and then lost Thibault, replaced Thibault with Alex. Like these are obviously no brainers. So he had probably one of the best off seasons that you can have. The next person that we could talk about is the Warriors actually had a pretty good offseason. Warriors tanked last season, understandably. Shout out to Rob. Welcome back to the league. Hope you stay around. He was able to grab Bol from the Nets, Thibault from the Celtics, and obviously the biggest one, he grabbed RJ after the Trailblazers' epic fuck up or 2K or whatever you want to call it. So grabbing RJ, Bull, and Thibault, that's huge. RJ is probably one of the best point guards in the game, top five for sure. And Bull stretch the floor for you, plays solid defense, just kind of does it all, and great inside. He torched me with Bull when we played, so kudos to him. Um, who else had a good off season? The Pistons was pretty quiet. Brought back Westbrook as Clay and Vucevic. Clay is okay, spot up shooter, getting a little bit slower. We'll see how that goes. The Raptors, of course, was able to grab Fox and Goodwin. Picking up De'Aaron Fox, he's one of the fastest point guards in the game. Raptors is a really good perimeter player, so I think that was a kind of a big deal for him. Um, The Wolves, I would say, had a very tough offseason, losing that star point guard in RJ Hampton. He lost Sibley in the offseason, which was his backup small forward slash power forward star. Very amazing badges. He built very well, but he was able to land Tatum, so that kind of bounces off a little bit. But I think that he still lost in this offseason. I was not sure how he would end up, to be honest, during this season. Um, the Magic overpaid a lot of people. Um, so solid offseason, but just overpaid everybody. Suggs 18 million a year. Diop 16 a year, Sibley 20 a year, Jones 18 a year. He paid a lot of people a lot of money. Um, so we'll see how that works out for him. I think his team is very wing oriented, so he should have some fun slashing and shooting, but we'll see how that kind of works out for him. We already spoke on the Knicks losing Alex to the Celtics, the Nets losing Bol. The Nuggets pretty much just ran his team back, and yeah, that's pretty much about it for that segment there.
All right, so a little technical difficulties. I do apologize for that one. I believe Calvin covered some of the other signings. Congratulations, Celtics! You kind of got Kawhi from the Thunder, which I know he was not too happy about. That's kind of where I left off here. And then he missed out on Tatum as well. So we're going to see with Thunder if quantity outweighs the quality of the players.
Yeah.
So you got Greek Jr. who can pretty much do everything. I really liked that signing for Celtics. Celtics really have a defensive squad, which I think helps. Warriors did really well to improve his team. I think he probably improved his team the most, just from an overall perspective from previous season to this season, considering we haven't really had a Warriors user. I thought that was really done. Of course, Nuggets, like I think you said, he brought everyone back.
Mm-hmm.
Magic lost out on Luka, and I think he overpaid for some of his players, but it all depends on how he uses them. But I think that he did overpay Suggs, Sibley, Yop, and Jones, as well as Keldon. So we'll see what happens. But question-wise as well as Isaiah Todd got paid.
Yeah. That's right. Forgot about that. The Heat signing. Yeah.
We will. So Heat signed Isaiah Todd. So we'll see if that's worth it, because I think he got close to the max.
Yeah.
So
very close.
I'll be curious to see if he ends up becoming a max contract guy. So anyways,